We're going to take a look at some neoclassical architecture now by looking at La Madeleine in Paris. It was a monument to Napoleon and his armies, and the link with classicism symbolized power and authority. In one way, it looks like an ancient classical temple. I mean, there you have all of those columns holding this temple top with little pediments on the sides, this deep front porch. But on the other hand, it's a church. It is a Catholic church. When you walk into it today, masses will take place inside. It was a monument requested by Napoleon, well, in honor of himself and his armies, of course. Check out neoclassical sculpture. This is an example by an Italian sculptor by the name of Antonio Canova. Canova is hired by Napoleon to sculpt his sister, Pauline Borghese. Napoleon's sister, Pauline, had married a member of a very wealthy Italian family known as the Borgheses. And here we have her depicted as Venus. So she's in this Greek pose like a goddess, partially nude. Look at the marble, at how the mattress wrinkles and the softness of the pillow. This is a pretty successful contemporary portrait. This is a pretty successful contemporary portrait of Pauline Borghese. It's a little odd, but successful. This is a neoclassical sculpture that has gone a little too far. Gurinau is the sculptor, and he has sculpted George Washington as the Greek god Zeus. Now that just does not work. I mean, here you have the father of the USA half naked, offering his sword outward, which is a symbol of peace, with the other hand pointing upward to the skies, denoting his importance and his power. It is the ancient Greek pose of Zeus. Now that just doesn't blend with the American attitude, now does it? Not a very successful contemporary portrait. Our next painter is Ingres. It looks like Ingres, but it's pronounced Ingres. He is a bit of a neoclassicist and a whole lot of a romanticist. You see, remember that Romanticism is a rather large umbrella. And underneath that large umbrella, you have the Gothic, but you also have Neoclassicism. Well, there's also this accumulation of works that do not fit neatly into Gothic or Neoclassicism, and they are still referred to as Romanticist works, just like this one is. What Ingres does is romanticize classicism. He romanticizes the classical form, so much so that his work is often referred to, his style is often referred to as romantic neoclassicism. And nowhere is romantic neoclassicism best seen than here, the Grand Odalisque. A reclining nude figure preparing for her bath is a subject matter that goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks. It is a very classical subject matter. She has her back to you, but she turns her head to establish eye contact with you. Yet look at her, she's completely unapproachable. He received a lot of criticism for this because an odalisque is a member of a harem. And he also received a lot of criticism, well, because her body's funky. her body is not anatomically correct. She has 2 extra vertebrae in her back. I mean, look at that. But check out the polished skin. There is a lot of Venetian influence here in the work of Ingres. Think way back to Titian and Giorgione. The use of light is similar. The nudity of the female form is very similar. They are classical poses. Ingres is highly romanticized and very exotic for its time. This is just oozing classicism, isn't it? But boy, is it romanticized, because here you have gathered around the figure of Homer a who's who of historical thinkers. They do not all belong to the ancient period. For example, check out the bottom left. There's Voltaire. Behind him, Shakespeare. You've got a bunch of different figures from all different time periods. The poet of ancient Greece, Homer, is seated. He's like the apex of the triangle. He's being crowned by Nike. Nike is the ancient Greek symbol of victory. And they are surrounded by other greats, other great artists and writers and philosophers. This should immediately put you in mind of Raphael's School of Athens, because that's exactly what this is like. In Raphael's School of Athens of the Renaissance period, they were collections of artists and philosophers exchanging ideas all under one roof. You have the same idea here. Ingres was one of the most superb portraitists of all time. He could capture a true likeness while creating a grand manner impression. That's what these sorts of portraits are called. You see these sort of haughty portraits standing there with a little bit of attitude. You can tell she's wealthy. These are called grand manner portraits or grand manner impressions. This portrait conveys a monumental presence through the woman's confidence, through her confident pose, through her very authoritative eye contact with you, the viewer, and also through her very rich costume displaying her wealth. Here, just as in, say, for the painting of the large odalisque, the emphasis is clearly on defined contours and carefully drawn details. Ingres believed in the superiority of drafting over color. What that means is that line, the drawing, comes first. It's most important to him. The use of line, drawing, is the most important. Color is secondary. Here is a pencil drawing, a portrait of Paganini, the great violinist. Clean use of line, simply perfect. What I want you to notice is how formal the portrait is. Remember, Ingres is very good at imparting that sense of the grand manner. So you really see it here. Very formal, very idealized. This is Paganini's public face, and he remains very composed. In a little bit, we'll see another portrait of Paganini by a different artist. Oh,